Today, our podcast, we are going to discuss the University of California's First Gen Initiative. We are fortunate to have Gwen Benner here with us. Gwen Benner is the Assistant Vice Provost to Student Success at University of California, Santa Cruz. She has worked for over 20 years in program management, strategic planning, attuned to the needs of diverse learners to help cultivate a great learning experience in higher education. She is part of the new UC campus-wide FIRST Initiative program known as First Gen Initiative. Welcome to the show, Gwen.
Thank you. I'm delighted to share some thoughts.
Great. So can you tell our listeners a little bit more about the First Gen Initiative?
Sure. 42% of our undergrad student population are the first in their families to attend college. This is a significant population on our campuses. The First Gen Initiative was initially started by Professor Anita Casavantes Bradford at UC Irvine. The goals of the program are to raise awareness, foster a campus climate that welcomes our first-generation students, acknowledging that they have challenges to overcome, and ensuring that their academic success. We provide them with information and encouragement, community, and also work closely with faculty to ensure that their classrooms are inclusive. The program is supported by the UC Office of the President, and it exists system-wide. At UC Santa Cruz, we launched our program in spring of 2017. We focused first on faculty, and then because staff and graduate students and our undergrads and even alumni said, "What about us?" the program was expanded last year. This year, we're looking forward to deepening our offerings and actually got a grant recently to do more work.
Yeah, I was so excited when I first heard about it, and then when it became system-wide, I got even more excited because it's such an important thing. Because the UC system has great success with first-gen students for many years who come from families who have parents that have not earned a bachelor's degree. I believe it's 80% of students who are first-gen graduates within 6 years at the UC system. And so let us know, what are the factors that contribute to assisting first-gen students to graduate in such record numbers in the UC system?
There are so many ways that the UC campuses support not just our first-gen students, but all of our students, including our non-resident and international and transfer students. We have affinity groups, student orgs, tutoring, lending libraries, workshops, events, fall welcome, resource fairs. And actually, it can be overwhelming for a new student to figure out where to start and how to get plugged in and what to focus on. One of the things I wanted to draw your attention to is our website. We have on there student resources. This was created by first-gen students and for first-gen students. Our website at firstgen.ucsc.edu includes 5 top tips that they say will ensure a student's successful once they get here, including staying connected and staying healthy.
Yeah, so at achieve.universityofcalifornia.edu, there's also so many great stories of first-gen students at various UC systems, but there's also on the site about a pledge. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, 2 out of 3 California students who apply actually were accepted last year. We have a growing international student population, and here at UC Santa Cruz, we also have an increasing number of transfer students. I believe that if you get into the UC, it's our responsibility to support your success and graduation. At Santa Cruz, we're working to break down the barriers to historically underserved, low-income, and first-gen students. And our goal is to reduce the achievement gap and increase the graduation rates, as you indicated. We have a number of ongoing programs that do this work, including EOP, ACE, MESA, STEM diversity, even our advising community. There's too many to name, really. And in our campus, it's a collaborative approach. Our goal is to simplify and translate to the student what it takes to be successful once you're here.
Yeah, so, and the nice thing is that you guys don't stop at just at achieve.universityofcalifornia.edu. You're really pushing the envelope when you use the hashtag #FirstGen. So I see, you have YouTube videos, and the #FirstGen hashtag, if you just put that on Twitter or Instagram, you're going to be open up to a huge community of great people. And I love how you guys not only link professors with students and students with students, but you also have linked together with other amazing programs like Better Make Room, Jack Can't Cook, and I'm First, other organizations that are also linked on your website. And I think that's great because for paying for college, there's a big fear for a lot of students, especially first gens. And since university costs keep on going up, the need of financial aid goes up as well. What advice do you have for our first gen students who have the fears for paying for college?
Yeah, it's a big ticket item. I grant you that. 75% of our UC students, however, pay less than full tuition, and 57% pay no tuition at all. And attending the UC, we know from the research that completing your bachelor's degree will typically result in an increase in earnings of $10,000 or more. That's over a high school diploma only. So while it's not always the case, we've evidenced that getting a college degree at a UC can have an incredible positive impact and improve your social mobility. It's really an investment over time, and there's so many resources on our campus to support you while you're here, including, as I mentioned, we've got lending libraries where students can get books, computers, and on our campus and all of the UCs, we also have slug support where students who are in crisis financially or emotionally or struggling because of housing, they can't make their rent, they can't eat. These basic needs are more and more essential to our students who come from more modest means, and a slight cost might not be achievable, and so we're looking at emergency support services as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I always tell my students, because sometimes the first time they ever heard about getting a loan through the government to help pay for college, I say, I understand it's so scary, but if it's under the federal government, and they also have the Dream Loan for Dreamers, for undocumented students, there are ways to make those payment plans, because when you get that college education, that's going to break the cycle of poverty and open up so many doors, and so I'm that's why I love that you put that piece of financial aid on the First Gen website. But I also understand that 900 faculty members from the UC system has also signed up across all the 9 campuses to be mentors to other First Gen students. I believe the UC president stated that your First Gen faculty and staff have the strength and drive to push back barriers and blaze a trail for others. Can you tell our listeners how they, as First Gen UC students, can be part of that amazing opportunity to work with other UC faculty members when they enroll in one of the campuses?
Yeah, absolutely. All 9 of our campuses have First Gen programs. We have staff, websites, resources. At UC Santa Cruz, we have an undergraduate steering committee who do the planning for our programs. They table at events, they do outreach and serve as interns. We post flyers and use social media. We've got a Facebook page. There's a great Facebook page out of UCLA administered by LaTanya Reese-Mills called Empowering First Gen Students, and that's a great resource to go to. We, during Welcome Week, encourage all of our staff to wear T-shirts and their supporter buttons and do tabling. And I guess I'm saying this as a way to indicate to your listeners that there are so many ways to plug into the work that we're doing. Our faculty on our campus have signed up. We've got over 200 faculty on our campus alone who are either supporters or First Gen themselves. And during Welcome Week, students will see them wearing their T-shirts.
Yeah, I love the First Gen T-shirts. That is so simple, but so important is to have that visual effect. And even if they don't take the advantage of communicating with the faculty members, they're a symbol of if they can do it, so can I. And I love that. I wish all colleges and high schools do that. That's so great. Since you are an expert with working with First Gen, what are some important resources do you think First Gen students should seek out, whether they're in the college system or even in high school?
One of the things that we know from our research and our experience even on campus is that if you feel engaged and connected, you're going to be successful. If you feel like someone cares about you academically, including faculty, you're more likely to be successful. If you're staying on top of your academics and doing your homework and managing and monitoring your grades, ensuring you're getting your quizzes done and you're doing well on your midterms and your finals, and also thinking about finances. I think the financial literacy piece, as you described earlier, is really critical. It's often scary for entering students who are coming maybe from lower income backgrounds. The other thing I like to encourage our first-gen students is to take good care of themselves and stay healthy. So being active, doing meditation, yoga, whatever it is in this time, nationally in the context we're in, which can be stressful, to also be sure to get moving and take care of yourself. Self-care is really important.
I know, no matter who you are, your background, self-care is always important, which leads me into the next question about balance. As a first-gen student myself, finding that balance was always hard because many first-gen kids have to work, support their families while being a full-time college student. Any recommendation for those students who are juggling a lot while dealing with the fears of being a first-gen college student?
I think for us, one of the things we're trying to do is destigmatize the idea of asking for help. We have a growing number of students who we encourage continually to seek out advice, look for that mentor, talk to their faculty member, go to counseling if needed. It's really important for students to feel empowered to seek out the help they need. We have a very wonderful staff at our Disability Resource Center that supports our incoming students who may need extra time to take tests, or they may need a different way to receive the information. So we're looking at what we can do to ensure the students are successful and meeting them where they're at.
Yeah, that's really great because everyone's on a different platform with different needs and different questions. So many first-gen students are hearing the competitive nature of getting into the UC system every year. Some feel that they may not have high enough GPAs, test scores, enough awards, for the admissions office from the UC system to deem them worthy enough for admission. Any recommendations you have for our first-gen students who may have these doubts?
My dad used to say you should strive for the sky and hit the fence rather than strive for the fence and hit the ground. And that's a way of saying go big, dream big, and do it, and then see what happens. A UC may not be your best path, and community college is a wonderful option for many of our students. And many of them will transfer in a couple of years later and be incredibly successful. There are all kinds of paths students can take to get a college degree.
Oh, yeah. I used to work at a community college, and the nice thing that the UC system has are those tag agreements where they could guarantee students a pathway from the community college to the UC. And I tell all my students in this country, there's so many opportunities. It's just a matter of you being willing to knock on that door to open that opportunity for yourself. And the beautiful thing about First Gen, you reinforce to all the students, you are not alone in this process.
Absolutely.
So at all the 9 UC undergraduate campuses, they're all amazing, and they have each are different from one another. They both have their own unique vibes, but several first-gen students cannot visit many of these campuses just because of responsibilities or finances. Any recommendations for those students who cannot visit a UC campus, how they can learn more about them and understand not only the wonderful academic programs, but the culture and the support that each campus delivers?
Yeah, absolutely. Our campus has virtual tours that you can take. Other campuses do as well. One of the things your listeners might want to check out is a video that our seniors, first-gen seniors, did for incoming students about their experiences here. It's a wonderful montage of advice and thoughts and sharing their own fears about their own